I'm James Allen, here for Salford Stands Up, and I'm here with Gein's family gift shop, opened by James, Kiri, Kath and Ed. So you've currently been to Torrington and Exeter.
Yes.
It's good to be back up north.
Yeah, it was a long way, wasn't it?
So far.
It was fun though. We got to stay over in between at an Airbnb, just at like it was pretty much like an abandoned old train station thing.
We're doing pretty well if you're not picking up on that vibe already.
It's good.
Just know it was a converted old railway station. We didn't just stay there.
Yeah, don't say abandoned.
Abandoned.
Bits our mistake. Abandoned.
It was lovely.
Ghosts. We drank wine with them.
Yeah, and so yeah, Torrington was really fun. Great venue called the Plough Arts, and I think they used to I think Jenny Clare and Rory McGrath and thing do the venue quite frequently and sell out. We did not sell out, but we certainly had a nice crowd in, and I think they'd all taken a punt on us, and it was just kind of nice to see it paying off for them because they all enjoyed the show, but we weren't what they were expecting.
They weren't really our audience always. I'd say what's lovely is when you see someone who's over 65 laughing at a sketch where Ed gets his willy out.
Yeah,
They're
really just laughing.
That makes me really happy.
Because they've snapped up all the cheap housing. But yeah.
Brilliant.
We got invited to a 50th after it. So
We did get invited.
That's the mark of a great gig, isn't it?
Yeah, they were like, if you want a drink, that just down the road is my friend's 50th. So we didn't get invited by the person whose birthday it was. That's why we didn't go. Because it would have been a bit weird.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are these guys?
Congratulations, we're a friend of a friend.
It would have been a great idea until we stepped into the room and be like, who's this? Oh, that is a sketch group that we've just seen live. We invited to your 50th party.
Well,
when I'm saying it out loud, it just seems weird.
They had people in.
How are you finding tour? I'm guessing after being invited to a party, it's going pretty
Oh yeah, we love it.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's
Aerosmith. No, it's all right, isn't it? It's weird because we're only 2 dates in. They've both been lovely, so we're a bit worried that we've been spoiled. That's what we were saying after the Torrington one. Exeter was really fun, lots of fire alarms going off. But we're worried now that we've been lulled into a false sense of security.
Yeah, there's sort of a mixture of overwhelming relief and then utter fear of how badly it could go.
Is there any sort of differences from an Edinburgh run, or is it too early to tell yet? 2 shows in.
Well,
It's a lot less pressure, I feel, because
yes.
there's no reviewers. It's just
yeah.
like we're having fun, and hopefully so are the audience.
Yeah.
There's not really.
It's
just so
You've got
less
enough wall
pressure.
space to put posters up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put whatever we want.
Yeah.
And all of these venues as well, we're used to doing like previews and things like that. But this is, we've basically melded together our first 2 Edinburgh shows and took our favourite sketches from all of those. So I think there's a bit less pressure on us to go like, oh, will this work? Will this? Because we're all like, oh, these are our favourite sketches.
Yeah,
that
we
get
kind
to
of
do.
know it works, don't we? But it is different in this respect that so the first year in Edinburgh, we had the first few weeks until we got some really nice reviews, were a bit quiet and a bit it was mainly street team flyers who were like, this is great, and then sort of people cottoned on that would like us and came. And then the second year we were really lucky, we had great numbers, but I remember every Saturday being abysmal because it was people who had heard that we could but wouldn't necessarily like what we do, and that was an exercise in futility every Saturday night to just plough on for an hour in front of these. Why is the Times giving this 5 stars? And,
Every Saturday having to say, it's not for everyone, is it?
Yeah.
It's a group of old people.
Swathes of people leaving. So
Flee
with the tour, you'd think it would be like that because it is people taking a punt, but because I think people actually read the bump before going out and spending a tenner or whatever in their local place. So what I was worried was going to happen is that it would be a row of Saturday nights in Edinburgh, but it's actually, I'm surprised at how receptive the parochials are to what we do. I don't mean it like that, but I'm surprised at how our stuff travels.
And
Because I just thought,
it's like one of the things that, especially from Torrington, one of the things that we got was that afterwards it was like, thank you so much for coming here. Thanks for travelling all the way down for 5 hours to just be here. So there's just 7 hours on the way there, 5 hours on the way back because I drove and I wanted to catch the Super Bowl. So I was after Exeter.
You called the Super Bowl.
It was so just leapt out of the car.
Is that why the Lowry ticket sales have gone up?
But yeah, so I think they're also half of it they enjoyed the show and the other half was just like, thank you so much for coming
Making
here,
the
because
effort.
no one does apart from you and Rory McGrath,
Yeah.
and they're welcome.
The name, if you wouldn't mind me asking, how did that? Because as soon as when I first discovered you, as soon as I saw it, I thought that's quite a. I want to say brilliant, but something very like sort of dark. I wonder how would you explain that?
That's nice because sometimes people are like, we don't get the name,
Yeah.
and then other people are like, I love the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you're
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
great.
It's
Don't
like a
overrepeat it.
filter. It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
filter.
Yeah.
So all the weird kids who come up to you, you know, who are clearly not comfortable in their own skin, and they're like, I really like the name, and you're like, well, come and see us again because you're who we wanted.
Is it from Ed Gein? Yes, it is. Well, yeah, it's great.
It's long and arduous how we come up with the name. Should we say?
It's not long and
Well,
arduous.
if you think it's long, I think it's really quick to say, so
Yeah.
shall I say it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you say, and then if
You like
I
me to
don't feel it's
elaborate?
clear, I'll elaborate.
Okay, so we really, and they said admire, we really are interested in serial killers. So at the time that we started it, you and I were talking about Ed Gein, we were all talking about Ed Gein and other people, weren't we? And then
Although
we thought,
technically
like,
not a serial killer, but yeah.
you carry on then, come on, Liz.
No, sorry, I couldn't let that slide. Obviously.
We like people who kill any amount of people. Any 130, it doesn't matter to us.
If you want us to like you, kill someone, let us know.
It's interesting, and I think stuff like your podcast, loads of people are actually really interested in it. If you
Yeah.
look at trends in sort of recent TV and radio and stuff. Anyway,
Really quick, is it?
well, it's because this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. It was meant to be quick, and then suddenly I'm getting chips in like this. I'm gonna write a sketch about this. I can't remember where I was. I don't know. We just thought.
Basically, we wanted a name, and we wanted a longer name as well, because we liked things like the League of Gentlemen that looked like there was a story behind it. So we'd been reading loads about this, about Ed Gein, and then, because obviously it's really dark, you just can't say Ed Gein, so putting in the gift shop part, we liked it because he used to make weird stuff out of the bodies that he exhumed. So we're like, that's really dark, but you needed something to lighten it up. So we chucked family in there, but in a way that makes it darker. And it was, like I say, it's a way of just like zoning out people who aren't interested or like, oh, that's weird. Well, don't fucking come along then.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm not going to swear.
It's got a nice rhythm to it as well.
Yeah,
I think, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Gains, well, okay.
Never heard that rhythm before.
Yeah, now I hate it.
Although,
That's how I say it.
although
every
we
time.
do get asked a lot, we get asked that question a lot, which is fine because we all like talking, so it's fine to explain it. But we do get a lot of incorrect things. We've had Gaines Family Workshop, which makes it sound like a day of drama games.
Yeah, we're lucky no one
Um,
turned up for what that sounds like.
What else have we had?
Jeans Sweatshop.
Jean Sweatshop.
What did your dad call us?
Gaines Family
Tuck Shop?
Emporium and
Oh,
Gaines Family
oh.
Tuck Shop as well.
Emporium's quite nice.
Yeah, I quite like Emporium with Mr. Trick there. So we do get called all sorts, but that's our
I'm gonna
choice.
have Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Gaines
Although
Family Workshop.
that is absolutely our audience. It's Games Workshop people.
We should do a sketch where we're just painting tiny figurines.
I still got my high heels back at home, so.
Also, as well, I noticed, especially on the live stuff, you tend to perform. I want to say like in PE kits, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is that sort of like, I don't know, like the League of Gentlemen when they perform live, they're in like tuxedos? What's the reasoning?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's we would tend to think of what is the least offensive thing to wear, so that when people look at us, not like they're wearing that because of this. And PE kits are really plain, white, black, and they're really cheap. And that is a reason, because a lot of the sketches, particularly Ed gets covered in blood and milk and things like that, tends to be you more than anyone else, I think. So we need something where we could buy a new costume for very, very, very cheap.
Yeah.
And that was it. And it's easy to move in, and sort of like it's quite childlike as well. And we have a sort of childlike silliness. I don't know. There was a lot of thought that went into it. We started off, I think, the first couple of gigs we had trousers and white shirts, didn't we? But then
You wore a dress.
They wore their own clothes. We did a photo shoot.
Oh, a photo shoot,
photo
trousers and
shoot,
white
yeah.
shirt. Okay, but the PE kit thing sort of evolved from that. Because I think like sometimes you look at a stand-up and they'll be wearing some sort of clothes and you're like, oh, what does that say? Or I wonder why they're wearing that type thing. Whereas we wanted people to not even really.
It's also a sort of asexual uniform that is like utilitarian. So if we're all wearing the same thing, there's no gender. Sounds me.
Well,
Until I get my penis out.
Yeah, with malign Kath for being a woman.
Yeah, but it's straight away. It's not like Kath doesn't come on in a skirt and saying hi. Like we're all just the same.
I have been told
three
to, though.
assholes. You have been told to.
I
That's
have been,
funny, wasn't it?
yeah.
Luckily, we declined that.
What did she say to you, Kath?
It was something along the lines of, you can't forget that you're a woman. I mean, I know you're on stage. It's very brave of you to go on stage like that, looking like that. But you are a woman. So
You are still a woman.
The amount of times Kath forgets she's a woman.
yes, every day. I just really.
I seem
needed
to remember
that.
you should wear a blouse.
Yeah.
It was a blouse and a
Was
skirt.
it a netball skirt?
Yeah. Or there was another option. I seem to remember. It was
dress.
a dress, but that was white and black.
We nearly did, you know, Star Trek: The Next Generation, where men and women all wear skirts. Like it's just like gender fluid in Star Trek: The Next. We were going to do that for our second show, where we all just come on in like netball skirts. Hey.
I love that because that was essentially just a way of covering up all the blatant sexism in the first series of Star Trek.
Yeah. Well, when the captain kept on hitting women. You mean?
In terms of the process for a sketch, how do you go about that? Because I think you do a great thing of, especially the YouTube videos I've seen. In particular, like the Art Attack one, and the Clouds one, and Darkness is, well, all of them basically, but they're just my favourites. You do a great thing, I don't know, sort of like, it's a very funny sketch, but then you sort of like, is it okay, like twist the knife in a way and sort of add that sort of spin on it?
Yeah, I think that we do that quite. Somebody once introduced us to our own friends, saying that we were a pull back and reveal sketch group, which cut like 1,000 tiny knives, but and then it's like, oh shit, that is kind of what we do. But we also talk about the A, B, and C punchlines. So there's the A punchline, which is that twist where you go, oh, this is sort of this is what the sketch is about, and then we have B punchlines, which is keeps it rolling and keeps the laughs going. So it's not just a really long play with one joke in it. And then we have the C punchlines, which is just for us to laugh at while we're doing it, so they don't get bored. But then sometimes the C punchlines will get the most because it's people who go, "Are you Gein? Is that?"
Yeah.
So
They're the most
have the same
satisfying
sense of
ones
humour.
when
Yeah.
the audience laughs.
Yeah, when they get a big laugh, because we're just like, that was just something we overheard someone say, and it makes us laugh, and then everyone else finds that funny. That's lovely.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the structure of.
Yeah.
The process. Sorry, go on.
I think the best sketches of ours are that ones where it has that big pullback, and then that makes it spin off, and the real funny comes after that. That second, well, the last third of the sketch is the really funny bit that is really us. So the ones that we do live, like Monkey and Card and things like that, the ones that that's code, the only we understand. Sorry, but the ones that like, oh, okay, that's a funny idea, but then how that evolves is the funniest part, and that's the most Gaines bit. I think. What were you gonna say?
That's because I said sort of what you were saying about like how we come up with them. I think it's just the process of them is we tend to just one of us we meet up and we'll all have different ideas. We'll say the ideas out loud, and then we try and get it on its feet. We don't really write. This was really bad when we had to do radio and they asked us because they needed to know everything that we were doing, so they asked for written scripts, and we don't write scripts.
Okay.
So we had to remember every single line and type them all out. But we tend to just go, I'd like to do this, and then we try and find the funny in it that way until something comes along.
Yeah, because I think you can overwrite stuff, and these guys have got really good instincts, so doing it in front of an audience it'll find it's funny quicker. So yeah, we just usually just run it in front of each other. Me.
So influences then? I don't want sort of like a cliche sort of question, but I'm
No.
interested to see. I mean, I can sense a bit of League of Gentlemen and a bit of Jam.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, nice. Yeah.
What else do we- like, it's weird that when we write, we're far more likely to sit and watch a horror film or a documentary about a serial killer than we are to watch comedy, because I think that can cloud your tastes a bit too much. And also that, like, so it happens a lot anyway, that I go, what about this? And then someone goes, that's that. Or what did I do the other day? You're like, that's a bit in Friends. And I was like, oh yeah.
That's, you just described an episode of Friends.
Shut up, Joey. But yeah, it's so. I think, I don't know, our influences are varied, and like tone is really important to us. So not just the funny, like obviously we love the League of Gentlemen and Jam and things like that, but the tone of stuff. So like, I'm trying to think of an example. Do you know what I mean? Like we try and pay homage in tone as much to funny. So I'm thinking about dark ghost stories and stuff
Oh,
like
right,
that.
okay.
I think is tonally what we go for. Because sometimes if we get writer's block, which is increasingly frequent, we will go, I will go, what is Gainsy? And like, so we'll work through subjects that we would cover.
Actually, what you do is you go, what do we like?
Yeah, what do
Because
we
that's
like?
the best thing to do, is just to like watch something you like, or to talk about things
Yoga.
that we enjoy talking about. Jim doesn't really help that much. Jim just writes sketches about yoga. But yeah, if we talk about ghost stories, or like go like, oh, I read this thing the other day that I liked and enjoyed and all that kind of stuff. That's the best way to do stuff. And the best sketches that we come up with are when we're just having fun, like we play board games and get drunk.
Yeah.
And we're just like, as long as you're relaxed. But also, if you just sit in a room, lock yourself in a room, and force yourself to do it.
Who are my influences? I don't know.
A chip on your shoulder?
That wasn't the question. Who are my personal influences?
No, I think I do notice that a lot, especially in the missing dog one, because it leads you on to believe that, oh right, and then at the end it sort of comes back round again. So
Catherine wrote that, it's great.
Yeah.
And because we like, we, especially I think Ed and Kat, I think everyone, me the least, are huge film buffs, and we're big into making films when you were here, for all it was worth. And I jest, it's great. So when we try and film stuff, we try and make it as interesting and beautiful as we can. And yeah, films are more likely, like the tone of a film, like Fall of the House of Usher or whatever, is just as likely to influence us as a sketch show. In fact, more so than a sketch show, I'd say.
a lot of people, I know it's sort of the...
Don't know who you are, is that what you're going to say?
No, not at all. A lot of people think that, or the idea of sketch is sort of like dwindling, I want to say. But I suppose you guys offer and do succeed at like sort of providing sort of fresh.
That's
Or if
nice.
that's not like, that sounds a bit pretentious term, sort of fresh new angle. But
No, it's a
like,
compliment, so
keep
we'll
it-
take it.
so-
Yeah, we'll take it.
I think that's how we got together almost.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, is that we're all really, really big fans of sketch comedy, but it had been saturated quite a bit, and I think a lot of the sketch that we were watching was very similar, and tended to follow the same. It was all similar. So we decided to try and make sketch that we'd really, really like, and that we thought other people would like, by cutting out all of the unnecessary things. Like you were talking about wigs and stuff before, we tried to avoid all of that, and we tried to just make it really, we tried to just make it focus on the joke.
I think it's, but like when we did that, when we first started, we were like, sketch is shit, and we want to make sketch better again.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I was saying to you before in the SU about improv, where it's just like there's not much of it up north.
Yeah.
There's like one collection, whereas there was like, no sketch up north, so we didn't really see anything. There was no one to sort of idolise or anything like that, apart from the League of Gentlemen, who did, come from up north. So when we went down to London, we were like, sketch is a piece of shit. We're gonna share. And we're like, oh no, there's so many lovely people.
Yeah,
It was like,
those guys are
I'm so
great.
sorry for being rude. There's like, so it isn't. It feels like it was dying, but it actually feels like there's been a resurgence
Yeah.
over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
With a bunch of people, mainly in London and up in Edinburgh, but it feels like there might be something. It's not dead, but I think it's just a bit asleep. What?
I do think that broadly speaking,
Maybe.
there is still like a sketch has archetypes, and its roots are in review of like I always say, three posh boys making puns about kings. Like it still is rooted in that tradition of like privileged
Yeah.
Yeah.
people doing smart little plays, and whereas our stuff is not mildly privileged people doing rude stuff, like
About
and
bums.
yeah, and also like stylistically, I think we're different in that I hate watching overacting sketch. So I've just remembered, I'd say Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a big influence
yeah.
of ours. Overacted sketch. So I like it. That's why these guys all mumble and shrug around the stage. Like, if you can get the joke to land without really selling it, that means the joke is funny. Whereas if you have to do a silly voice and scream and get a tit out for a joke to be funny,
Yeah.
it's probably not that funny. So it's just that idea of knowing when to turn it up and when to play that funny, but also knowing when to bring it down and just let the words kind of speak for themselves. Making it sound more poignant and important than it is, because it is just dick
It's
jokes.
jokes about arseholes.
And
Yeah.
poo.
I'd also like to add that I'm not mildly privileged. I'm a working class hero.
I was about to say, do you ever get the northern sort of label. What is
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, but they like. I think people see us like something exciting, like the two pandas in the Edinburgh Zoo. Like they, most of the time it goes in our favour because they're like, oh, northern.
Yeah.
Or yeah, which is quite sweet. Or we've had a lot of it's great that you're from the north. When are you moving down to London?
Oh, yeah.
So we do spend a lot of time in London because that's where the world is. But I like that we are based up here, and I like it's definitely been an advantage in our first year because we got good while no one was watching.
Yeah.
So we just sort of took Edinburgh a bit by surprise.
You can't rest on your laurels if you have to like stand at the back of a pub waiting to go on and go on to angry, drunk northern men.
Yeah.
That's why we couldn't wear wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not going to get a laugh. It's going to get a
exactly.
punch.
Carrying that back to the car, like how embarrassing. So yeah, I do think that it can't be overstated, except by us who say it a lot, how important being based in the north and being northern it has been to our aesthetic and our choices and how we've ended up how we are.
Sort of work with them on Inside Number 9.
Yeah.
How was that?
Mad.
They say don't. Yeah, I was going to go. It sounds cliched, but they were just dead nice.
Yeah,
It's
they were
about they're our
brilliant.
heroes, and we got
Yeah.
to meet them, and it was terrifying, but they were the loveliest people.
Yeah.
They were genuinely really supportive. They and watching them work.
So mad, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, because
so
it's like,
good.
oh, okay. So it's not like, oh, they're our heroes. You get to see them doing the whole, because they were directing in it, they were acting in it, they did, and they were phenomenal. They are genuinely, there's a reason why they're as big as they are, and it's because they're super talented.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, definitely.
really, really mad watching them work because you go, oh, this is why they're where they are because it's just really good. And obviously because they've written it, they know exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really interesting to watch and be like, because after the sort of how good the first Edinburgh was and like it was really nice, I really enjoyed it. We were like, oh, I think we might have something here. I think we might be quite good at what we do. And then you watch those and goes, we're children, we're tiny little babies, so we don't know what we're doing because they're so good.
How did that come about? So did they approach you, or did they?
We were very good. Sorry, go on, Kat.
I was going to say they came to see our Edinburgh show, and which was terrifying because we could just see them right at the back, just like
you
oh
came into
god.
the green room just for a start, and like they're here. It's just like, no.
Yeah, so they saw that and liked it, which we were like gobsmacked by, and then yeah, they asked us to be in an episode of Inside Number 9, which was crazy.
And then because originally you guys were just on doing like voices on the end of the phone, and then because Jim has got a brass neck on him, he was like, well, I suppose you'll need extras on the day, won't you? So the guys were bobbing around
Is that
in
the
the
working
background.
class hero?
Yeah, exactly.
Every time you do an impression of me, I'm like, I don't sound like that. Of course I don't.
That's exactly Bob on.
I suppose you'll need extras then, won't you? After I've been down the pitch.
But yeah, so it was nice that they were like in it as well as heard on it.
Really
Do you
nice,
know what it's based on? Because like that was a nice thing. That I wasn't there for the day that you did the read through, but they were kind enough to let me go down and like watch it because I'm in this, but obviously not a lot of people know. But like them, there's one that isn't on stage. So it's based on a serial killer called Colonel Russell, not Williams.
Yeah, Russell.
No, I think it is Williams, yeah.
Who basically there's a amazing 3-hour-long footage that you can watch online, which I have, where it's filmed in a sort of a cell, a bit like Making a Murderer, where it's sort of, you know, like a camera in the corner thing of this guy, a few angles of this guy's eventual confession to killing 4 women, and it's just chilling. And but the way it's something about the way it's shot sort of adds to it, and that's what they were trying to
Yeah,
sort
because
of,
obviously if you watch it, if you like that kind of stuff, you're engrossed by it for 3 hours. Because I think I showed it to Will, and he watched about 5 minutes of it and was like, this is boring.
Oh, really?
But for me, I was like, oh my god, I watched it for 3 hours, and their thing was, can we do a half-hour episode with these static cameras that also engross you enough to watch it for that amount of time without really many edits at all.
Yeah, and it was really lovely for us because we're not proper. Whenever we do something, which we are lucky to do, we're always doing everything for the first time. So when these guys went down, like, so it was with the BBC, and obviously they really look after you. And so like when they were like, right, the tea's here, we're all getting our money out to pay for the tea. No one pays for tea at the BBC. And then because we're also used to gigging in rooms above pubs where there's no like dressing room, so you just get changed where you are in a corner. So they said they called the shot and they were like, okay, that's day 1 finished, can everyone get changed into their costumes for day 2? And on set these guys just like drop their trousers and start changing. So yeah,
it was efficient.
And having to like shoo them into the dressing room, be like, there's a space for this. So yeah, sometimes it's nice to be out of the. Is it like George of the Jungle, where someone goes to live in like the city?
Right.
It's jungle to jungle.
Jungle to jungle. I do apologise.
It's alright.
But it's that kind of thing. Then when we go
just
and do
cut
something.
out when she said George of the Jungle?
Yeah, anything I say,
Yeah.
just play it over it. So yeah, it was really fun. And meeting Jeremy Dyson was amazing as well.
Oh my god, yeah.
What a brilliant man.
Mm.
He's great. So we got to work writing with him on something. And he just, it's great because it's hard for us to find people who, I feel like, speak our language, because we definitely speak in a shorthand all the time because we work so much together, but he just totally speaks the language of comedy as you would expect, and it was just amazing to work with him. Yeah. Just got to get the other one now.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the whole set, get Mark Gatiss. That's the
He's
dream.
not playing Minecraft.
No.
Joe, did you ask what was in the special stuff? I've ruined that now because that's such a cheap question, but I don't have to.
No, because I felt like it was so weird, because I am a huge fan. I have a signed picture on my mantelpiece that someone got me. I've had for years. I've watched all the commentaries. I listen to everything that any of them do. I'm totally obsessed about it, but I can't let them know that I can't let them know that. I know what your kids are called. It's so quick. So I just I barely mentioned anything because I was like, please don't embarrass everyone here.
That was really funny actually. When they came to see our Edinburgh show and the two afterwards, we went down just to say hello and thank them for coming. And whenever Steve Pemberton was telling us things, Kiri was like hovering behind us going, yeah, I already knew that.
Yeah, when you went to college, yeah.
Because you did that here, didn't you? Yeah,
when you lived at number 32.
He said something, but I suppose you already know that. Yes.
That's it. Also, as well as, you also had your own Sky Arts Christmas short, which I've thoroughly enjoyed as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
They offered you that as well, I suppose.
Not the League of Gentlemen, they're not pulling that
No,
many.
no.
Yeah, Ben Boyer came and saw us in Edinburgh both years. Both years.
Yeah.
And then they just had this thing and he was like, send something in. And we did. And we sort of worked over it a bunch of times. Just threw so much shit at the wall and then one of the little bits of poo stuck. And then we filmed it. And it was like the day of filming was insane, because as Kiri said, like every time we do something it's the first time we've done it, and everybody else on the shoot was amazing, just was so good at their jobs and like brilliant at their jobs, and it's almost embarrassing because they're all so good and we're just scuttling around in our PE kits like idiots.
Just trying to be as nice as possible because we felt like complete amateurs compared to these people who've been working on stuff for years. So every opportunity I was like, can I give you a hand with anything? No, I'm just going to get out of the way and I'll move. Just tell me if you need me. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much for doing this.
And even though they're obviously they're getting paid for it and stuff, I still felt very bad. So I was like, so sorry to get you up this early. It's very early.
Yeah. I snored on set, ruined a few takes.
That was insane.
Because we had to get obviously very early to do it, and I was knackered because I think I'd be doing something else as well. So I was just like, I'm just going to go in a corner in my big coat and fall asleep. And then kept waking myself up, and I was like, I feel like I'm snoring, but no one's pulling me up on it. So I kept sleeping until Ed was like, Kiri, mate, please stop snoring over all the takes. And I was like, okay. So embarrassed. But yeah, it was great. Like you say, it was amazing to work with all these people who are at the top of their game.
Yeah.
And then have the audacity to do what we do and make it happen. It was great. And just really exciting to see, and such a learning curve for us, because we make everything really cheaply, really quickly, and ourselves, and control everything. So learning how the TV process works when it's not just your mates that you've got to take a weekend off work to come and help you, it's been fascinating and really valuable. So we're so thankful to Sky that they let us do it.
Justin Morehouse as Father Christmas as well.
Yes. Yeah, we wanted Justin was definitely, it was between Justin and Steve Pemberton, and obviously Steve was doing the stuff on Inside Number 9, So Justin was like, well, we wanted someone northern.
Yeah.
We wanted someone who obviously Justin's amazing and got great profile, but who typically maybe like wouldn't be recognised as being Father Christmas, and he looks so good.
Yeah, he looked great.
He looked so good.
The makeup was brilliant.
Yeah, the makeup women were fantastic,
Yeah.
and the costume, it was all just brilliant. So it's just a nice little cameo to someone who's great and who's been really nice and championed us all on the circuit. To put them in something just felt really nice. So yeah.
As well as going on tour, you've also got a new material night at the Cosmonaut, Gein's Bargain Basement. What can we
Gaines.
so oh my god, sorry. Gein's Bargain Basement. Cut that.
No, just you saying gains, and then I was going gains.
Like, those really bad sort of like martial arts movies where they dub the accent. So tell us about that. What can we? Obviously, the new material. Is it just you guys, or you have other people on as well?
You can talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, we do. It's called Bargain Basement because it's basically we do new stuff every month, and we get our pals on to do new stuff as well that we like. It's free as well, which is nice. Yeah. And Cosmonaut's really nice, even though it doesn't have a sign, but it's dead nice.
Too cool for a sign.
Yeah.
It sort of has a weird like handmade crocheted sign that says K.
It's super cool and it's really nice. The staff are dead helpful.
Brilliant. Chicken burgers are great.
Yeah, very nice chicken burgers.
Yeah, so it's first Monday of the month, free entry. We go on and do 20 minutes of new stuff at the end. Sometimes it's alright, sometimes it's awful because it's brand new, and most of the time we've never done it in front of people before.
Frequently it's a mix of the two.
And we tend to get 2 or 3 brilliant comedians on who we like and we're friends with.
The Manchester comedy scene, do you think it's right? I know a lot of people like Tom Short as well, who's really good. Do you think there's sort of a, like you said, a resurgence, especially in Manchester?
I think I just think it's always been brilliant.
Yeah.
So we all met here, us, the 2 boys and myself were doing stand-up, and we met on the stand-up circuit, really, didn't we? I yelled at you on the stand-up circuit.
Yeah, the front bucket.
So, and that's so much of a part of why we stuck around here, is because the comedy scene is so brilliant, and we don't have to pay £1 billion to live in London and work a million jobs to justify it. So and you know what the other thing is, it's incredibly supportive, I found anyway, that, you know, amazing comics like Mick Ferry and Dan Nightingale are more than happy to give you their time and advice as a new comic, and that stuff's invaluable. And I drove, so driving pro comics to gigs and learning from them is just invaluable, and that never stops. Like, I've been working with Justin Morehouse this weekend, and you never stop learning from the people around you who are more experienced. So I'm a huge passionate advocate of the comedy scene in Manchester. I think it's absolutely made all of us as performers, as sketch group, as individuals, what we are. And I think it's great that there's a new generation of people coming through who are making really exciting, high quality stand-up. There's a few on the module that I look after at Salford University who are like, well, you would only need to pursue it for another 6 months and you'd have, you know, something. It's already special what you have, but it could be really exceptional. And I mean, it does have a rich tradition, I think, Salford University, of churning out. Apparently, we are told that we are, behind Cambridge, the 2nd most nominated university at the massive, huge, what was the Perret, that is now the Foster's Edinburgh Comedy Awards. The last 2 winners of the Chortle Student Award, which is a big deal, have been from Salford University. So, you know, and there's an impressive alumni of comedians that come from here. So there is something special about this place and this part of the world that means a certain type of person is drawn to it, that has a real sort of, I think, industrious nature, which is a big part of doing comedy.
What can we expect from you from the rest of the year? Any more TV sketch? I know that you two doing stand-up shows.
Yes, we're taking solo shows up to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is terrifying. So Jim's just done Leicester Festival with his, and I'm about to do it soon. We've got to finish the tour off.
Are we?
I suppose, should we give you an exclusive?
Yeah.
Should we give this one person an exclusive? So we've been recommissioned by Radio Wales to make 3 half hours on Radio Wales, which will be recorded at Salford University again, which is where we recorded our last ones. So keep an eye on our website for tickets, free of course, of how to come to that. We've got some other stuff in the pipeline rumbling out. Nothing that's nothing we've been given money for yet, so we can't really announce it. But yeah, basically we'll be touring, and then we'll be doing our Edinburgh shows, and then it's going to be just trying to nail 2017 at Edinburgh, which is going to be interesting. So as soon as we hit autumn, basically as soon as we're out of Edinburgh, all eyes will be on the next show, which is a bit terrifying, but we're more than capable. So yawning because I'm lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's exciting. I think the break is going to do us good. I'm hoping we'll come back with renewed vigour. He's confident, these two are not.
I've recently been listening to it last 2 weeks. The All Killa No Filla podcast. Big fan of.
Oh, that's lovely.
Well, I was sort of like reluctant to sort of not say admire, but like sort of upset. Like there was a kid at our school I then like spit an image of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh really?
Yeah. To the point where he walked in as we got a picture of him and Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh really?
Frankly, didn't know who he was, but yeah. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Do you have plans to sort of ideas sort of all of you four guests? Guests on like a sort of special episode on Ed Gein.
Actually, that's something that I mooted last year at Edinburgh, because we do a live show of it. Because mainly it's just Rachel and I, but then in Edinburgh we bring a comedian on to talk about a serial killer, and I wondered about, I think we chatted about doing a special with all you guys talking about Ed Gein, but as you can probably tell, us four in interviews isn't brilliant because we'll just talk over each other and argue. So it's definitely, that is in the back of my head, is a thing for us all to do. But as I say, it's not technically a serial killer, but you're not technically one guest, so I think that we could do.
I'm not really into serial killers as much as you guys either. I've only got one favourite, and that's Robert Hansen, and
He's
that's
only
because
got the one favourite.
well, that's it. My favourite's Robert Hansen, and that's because he flew planes and was a good cook. And also he was portrayed very, very well by John Cusack.
Yeah,
Good
in
film.
High Fidelity. So yeah, I think I'd love for the two to mix at one point. It's just whether there's going to be a cacophonous sound of 5 voices, or it'll be like a terrible panel show tryout. But I'm sure we'll get around to it one day. And then cutting to Kath laughing at everyone's jokes.
Nailed it.
So when they go quite dark about serial killers, you're like, yeah. So.
Well, no, I don't mind it, but I don't have the same fascination.
Oh, okay.
I know for Kiri particularly, it's a real fascination. I'm more interested in the Legend of Zelda.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
I think it's creepier to not mind it.
Yeah.
That's even weirder. It's
No, I don't mean.
take or leave murders. Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind that you guys are into it. I mean, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be in the sketch group, would I?
That's true.
I think as well as the mainstream ones. I mean, I don't want to like the sort of your Dharmas, your Bundys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no, they are like
The
rock
Dharmas and your
stars.
Yeah. Your award winners.
You guys.
My favourite one is probably the BTK. I think you describe of the Alan Partridge.
Yeah, he is. Dennis Ryder. That's so weird because I'm writing a thing at the moment. I'm trying to write like a horror stories thing, and I think it's going to be inspired by BTK. But yeah, he's actually one of my favourite podcasts we've done because he is such a weird nerd, and there is loads of creepy elements to it, but loads of just sort of like embarrassing,
And the cereal,
cringy.
the box.
Yeah, making his own cereal.
Calling it
box.
the mother load.
Yeah, the mother load. Yeah, he is. That's a good episode. I like that one. But yeah, we try and do, because it would be easy, and you'd rattle through them too quickly to do. Yeah, Richard Ramirez and all the huge ones that people know. So sometimes it's interesting to find the lesser known ones and weed out the interesting details in that. So we try and balance it out with heavy hitters and ones that I'm also quite keen on doing women as well, but a lot of female serial killers are boring. So
BTK is what we base our business model on because it's so on brand all the time.
Yeah.
Because they got a really strong brand.
I just think it sounds like a
media.
restaurant. Gonna come down to BTK's.
Don't they do those really nice Oreo milkshakes?
if we ever have a series, we should have a restaurant called BTK's in it.
Thank you very much to James, Kiri, Kath and Ed.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks so much for having us.